fingers
So I need some light. I need to shed some light on the topic.
You're everywhere in everything. Your fingerprints declare you guilty of creation, of all I see surrounding me.
Hello.
In the wind and rain, and I see you. Even through my pain, I see you. Giving me new life, and I see you.
How is everybody? Just waiting for some people to come on. I see you. I see you. Where you coming on from? Let me know where you're coming on from.
When my faith has lost sight, even then I see you, Lord. Your faithfulness can't be denied.
Do you know that this is on tour and not my page?
Trace your unseen hand, even in the darkness. Your light does not escape my sight.
Yeah.
I see you.
Oh, okay.
In the wind and rain, and I
How go?
see
Thank you. You like the glass?
even through my
These little glasses that we use.
see you, giving me new life,
South Africa,
and
you're up late.
see you.
2 hours ahead of me. And it's 10 here, so it's midnight where you
Lord,
are.
I see you.
Missouri,
I see you.
Miami, Philadelphia, is in the house,
See
Illinois, the Netherlands.
even through my
Wow.
pain, I see you, giving me new life, and I see you. I feel you when I can't see you.
Hey, Atlanta's in the house. Illinois.
For you with my faith cries, Lord, come to me and open my eyes. Yes,
Yeah.
I see you in the wind and rain, and I see you even through my pain.
You know, we need to be able to see God in everything. Oregon. Oregon is lovely. I've been to Eugene a couple of times.
In everything,
One of my publishers was from Eugene, Oregon, Harvest House. So, love Oregon. I went fly fishing in Oregon. That was an experience. I enjoyed it.
giving me new life.
You from Eugene? All right. And there was this place called Masterclass.
Lord, I see
And we went fly fishing, and then we climbed up a little hill, sat there and had some homemade food. Homemade pie. It was fabulous. I love it. Beautiful country, Eugene, Oregon.
Lord, I see you.
See, now you just made me homesick for Oregon. Yeah, my people's Harvest House. Hey. Okay. Yeah, so that's one of the songs from one of my CDs. If you like it, you can go on my website at michellehammond.com. Download that song. It's called I See You. And I wrote it from just thinking about the fact that I see God in everything. Do you see God in everything? I mean, I really do. I look for him in a traffic light. Okay, when the light says stop, I feel like God is saying take a pause for the cause. Okay. Fully move on with God's blessing. My ex cheated more times than I can count, and I'm just trying to follow Jesus. I get you, and God is not a fan of adultery. He did not handle it very well himself. He divorced the nation of Israel because of their unfaithfulness and remarried the Gentiles. He got himself a second wife. So God knows your heart. He knows you tried. He knows you put in the time. And if someone's breaking covenant, you can't force them to remain in covenant. You can't force someone to remain faithful. And God would never force you to stay in a situation like that because, that's an endangerment, not just to your heart and your emotions, but to your body. They're going off and fooling around and coming back and depositing stuff, in your sanctuary. That's not cool. It's just not, it's not the life that God wants for us to have. So I'm glad that you had the strength to walk away and to trust God to be your husband, to fill in the gaps and to take care of you instead of settling for less than the best treatment. God says that when a man does not treat a woman properly, he considers him an infidel and he doesn't even answer his prayers. So we don't even know the severity of how precious women are to God, how he feels about them. Who is that? Which dog is that trying to fluff up the tile? Coco, is that you? Y'all, I have these Shih Tzus, right? And for some reason, they like trying to fluff up the tile. I don't know what it is. It's a Shih Tzu thing. But anyway, as I was saying, hey, Coco, stop that. Come here. God feels very strongly about his women. He loves the men too, but he's made women to be precious vessels and he wants us to be treated that way. Now, the enemy tries to pervert that by making us grow hair on our chest so that men are repelled and then we feel like we got to fight and grow muscles and all of that. But that was never the original intention of men. Oh, I have 3 Shih Tzus. You're asking about what my dogs? Yeah, they're my little babies. We all have our little children. Those are mine. So that's one of the perversions in the world is that the enemy is trying to pit men and women against each other. And God made us for one another. He made us to champion one another. And so he wants men to treat women well, and he wants women to not give men a hard time and help them be better men because they can't really be great men without us. You know that. I mean, God himself said that they needed help. And I think that that's the very root of our relationships issues. Who's running things, and I don't even know why we get into that because a team accepts what their positions are and they play well because they've got one mission in mind, and that is to win the game. So if I'm a forward, I'm going to be a forward. I'm not going to ask coach why I can't be a guard. Obviously, he sees my strength as in being a forward. And, obviously, he sees my strength in being a guard. He knows I've got the weight and I can block, and so they bring their strengths to the game. They balance their strengths. They celebrate each other's strengths. They understand each other's positions. They know when to hand off the ball, and they win the game because of it. We're so busy sparring about who's got the what position that we're losing the game. What does love have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. But we need to know what it is we want out of our relationships. What game are we playing? What game do we want to win? And how are we going to win that game together? Now, I saw a post earlier today and I just loved what the man had to say. I'm going to repost it. A little bit of the language for the religious people might be upsetting, but the truth is the truth. And he was talking about, don't allow yourself to get played in relationships. Know what you want, and know what they want. Because a lot of people, if you say, well, where do you see us going? They go, well, let's just go with the flow. I hate those words. Now, that's my fashion line is going to be out at the end of the month, go with the flow. But that should not happen in a relationship. When you get in your car and people say, you from? Yes, I did live in Chicago for many years. How did you know I was from Chicago? Is there a Chicago accent? I never realized it was a Chicago accent. You're on from Nigeria. All right. Nigeria is in the house. Did you know I'm part Nigerian? Yes. My name is Ayo. Yes. My grandmother was part Nigerian. Anyway, and I'm Ghanaian. I'm Barbadian or Bajan. I'm also British. So I'm a mixed bag. I'm a citizen of the world. And then, of course, I do have my green card for America. So, I'm a citizen there. But anyway, as I was saying, what was I saying, Taylor? Do you remember what I was saying? I was talking about roles in relationship. And then, I know, I jumped over to going with the flow. When you get in your car to go someplace, don't you know where you want to go? You don't just get in the car and say, well, let's see where the car takes us. No, you don't, right? Hello from the UK. So, the first thing we need to find out is what is a person's intentions? I mean, be clear about it. If they want to be just friends and not to invest your heart beyond the friend factor, okay? If they say, well, I'm in it to win it. I want to get married, Yeah, they do. Men say that all the time. Let's just go with the flow. Well, that's a person that's letting you know right away they are not in commitment mode. And they probably will not get in commitment mode because actually, if they had that sense about you, most men know that they want to marry you when they first meet you. They just test it out after that to make sure that their inkling is right. And you can either flip the switch on that on or off as you interact with them. Hi, London, England. How are you? So it's really important to find out from the beginning what mode people are in. Some people are in cruise mode. They're not interested in having a relationship. They just want to play the field, go with the flow, have a good time, see where it goes. They might want you later. No. You don't start off on that. It's like if you went for a job interview and you said, well, where's this leading to? And they said, maybe in time we might want to hire you. We don't know what we want to do yet. Well, not to take that seriously. To keep looking for another job because they don't even know if they're in hiring mode. Okay, exactly. Huh? What'd you say? Are you talking to me, Tega? Oh, all right. So anyway, Tega's sitting over there talking about something distracting me, so that's why. So anyway, so the thing is, keep it moving. Yes, and a lot of times we dumb it down because we're afraid we're going to lose the person. But what do you have if they don't even know if they want you? You don't have anything. So let's not throw good money after bad. Let's not, invest in stuff that's not worthy of investment. Let us not sow seed in ground that is not good. Let us make sure that we are going somewhere. So it is very important because especially after, once you get past your late 20s, you don't have time to waste anymore. Well, you never have time to waste, actually, So it's very important to know where you're going, to be intentional. So let me ask you this. What do you want? Some people, everybody's not wanting a relationship right now. Some people just want a friend. Some people just want a companion. Some people want to get married. And just be very clear about exactly what it is you want so that you've got your right expectations in alignment so that you're not setting yourself up for frustration. If you want to be married, you do not entertain someone who says, let's just go with the flow. If you want to have a friend, then the flow network works for you because both of you don't want to go anywhere. So you just want to just hang, just want to chill, just want to, go with the flow. There was a song back in the day, float on. Oh, wow. Did you see that? Yeah, I'm in a new series here called Roses and Daggers. And yeah, it's rather interesting. I didn't even realize it had started running, child. Now you see how crazy I am. I'm also in Day Day and the second season of Sankofa is starting, which is a reality show where we fix relationships. If you're in the States and you want to see all that stuff, you'll have to download the Showmax app and look for the Gollywood thread, films from Gollywood. That's Ghanaian Hollywood, okay? So you can see it there. Do I know any nice guys in Africa that not matchmake you with? Well, that's men are the same all over the world. But it's funny because in Africa, people get married, okay? So it's like folks getting married up quick, fast, and in a hurry. They're serious about getting married. So I don't really know that many single men here. And plus, in this here COVID times, I'm not leaving my house to go scouting for anybody new either. Although numbers actually are down in Ghana. So it's really a wonderful place to escape to because people are not liking crazy America. They are wearing masks. You can't go in any place actually without your mask on. There's a big sign at the door saying no mask, no entry. They want you to wash your hands. They got sanitizer there. Some places got the thermometers to check you out before you come in. So they're very serious about it because we can't really afford an outbreak here. So people are really considering one another and just being very careful. It's about preserving life at this point. I don't see it as, personal rights. I see it as personal safety. And when I look at it in that light, yeah, a mask is not the most wonderful thing that I want to wear all the time. But if it's, keeping me safe, I'll opt for safe. I can do safe for a season, to prolong my life, you know. So that's where I'm at. I just think that we all just need to take care of one another and take care of ourselves. I think we're fighting the wrong things at this point. Anyway, but back to love and going with the flow. Um, and I think we just have to be an example. Those who are wise set an example for the others. And I don't think we should get into violent clashes with people about it or even arguments about it, because you can't convince people of what they're already convinced about. So you just do you, and make sure that you're protected and that you're safe, and keep it moving. I do go to church, but my church is a small church and we observe protocol. We wear our masks, and the seats are spaced out. And, we've been good. We've been healthy. No one's gotten sick, but we are observing protocol, sanitizing hands, sanitizing the building, wearing our masks, and being considerate of one another. We love each other with elbow bump. No holy hugs right now. Every now and then somebody forgets, but we got our mask on, so it's okay. Anyway, yeah, you have two services. Okay, my church is small, so we just have one. But I love, I get to go see the saints and come back home, and I'm laying low. I'm not going to a bunch of crowded things right now, because I'd rather take off a year and have 20 more years than to venture out because I'm rebelling and end up cutting my life short over it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. It's just, anyway, that's not the topic I came on. Hi, Carla. How are you? I'm on because I've started this thing called Love You Masterclass, and I am really excited about it. We've done 2 semesters, and people have just had amazing breakthroughs. I know I haven't tried Trader Joe's multi-purpose surface cleaning, safe and cedarwood, but I love everything from Trader Joe's. But I'm in Ghana right now, and there's no Trader Joe's in Ghana. But I'll check it out when I come stateside, which will be in October. Anyway, as I was saying, oh, that sounds really good. I'm going to check that out when I come, Trish. That sounds really good. I'm sure it smells good too. Anyway, Love You Masterclass is something that I've come up with because I just feel like people just aren't educated when it comes to love. And we keep making the same old crazy mistakes over and over again, not knowing that they are mistakes, not being able to really clock and analyze exactly where we're going wrong. Even if we have the right expectations about what we're in. Do you know what I mean? Yes, wonderful. Thank you. So it's really about you knowing what you need to expect, what you have the right to expect in a relationship. And that's not being difficult. That's just being, what can I say? Spiritually sound. God has a list of what love looks like. And we don't, I was at a seminar once. I'll never forget it. Who was the guy? I can't remember. He had a big book out at the time, but we were on this panel and we had been talking about relationships for 2 hours. And someone finally got up and said, I just have to ask this question. And, oh, thank you, Angela. It was awesome, wasn't it? We had MMA Hangout Saturday and we talked about the power of silence, and it was amazing. Shanine Clark was off the charts. People are still talking about it. Just the ability to still our souls and just hear from God very clearly for direction and instruction on how to move forward in life, and even for comfort and for peace. But at any rate, we've done this class, as I was saying, Love You Masterclass. And it is all about equipping you with the right information so that you make the right choices in love. Yeah, exactly. You said you follow the love pattern your parents had, and everybody didn't have a good experience watching their parents. You know, every parent did not do love well. They did not, what's the word? They did the best they could, but they also were ill-equipped to know how to make love work properly. And that's what this class is all about. It's about you knowing what love looks like, knowing the protocol of love, knowing God's design for love, knowing what you should expect from love, what you should be giving in love, what's your job description in the relationship, what is your value that you bring to this thing called love. You know, these are things that we don't really talk about and analyze. We study for every other, career in life except the one called relationship. And it's the foundation for everything. Talking about life balance. We talk about life balance. Love is right there. It's the floor of everything else. When you build your house on the foundation of love, everything else in your life works well. Business, finance, other interactions and relationships. So it's really, really important to get your relationship right, because when your heart is messed up, then you're operating in anger, fear, and pain, and you start making really bad decisions. So I want you to get healthy. I want you to get whole when it comes to your relationship. So that's what Love You Masterclass is all about. And as a matter of fact, we're going to have a free one coming up this Friday. So that's what I'm really jumping on to tell you about. Get your friends to sign up. Go to my website and sign up for the Love You Masterclass. Is there a link for it on the website, Tags? Okay, great. So there's going to be a link on michellehammond.com. Go there, sign up for the master. Pardon me?
The pop-up is MMH Hangout.
Okay, the pop-up is going to say MMH Hangout. So look for that. It's going to be a Zoom conversation. So come with your questions. It's going to be very interactive because I want you to get answers. That's what this is all about. I'm so tired of people just bumping in the dark through life. Okay. Yes. And if you want to get on my email list so that you always know when I'm doing a free class or a book club or whatever, go to my website. Once again, sign up for the email list. I don't bombard you. I give you a monthly newsletter, lets you know everything that's going on and when our meetings are and what we're doing. So sign up for the free masterclass. I'm going to be sharing with you all the stuff that's going to happen in the Love You Masterclass, which is an intensive. It is a, how many weeks? I always forget how many weeks. It's like, 6 weeks? It's more than 6 weeks. It's 6 lessons with 10 classes each. So that's more than 6 weeks. That's, it's like about 12 weeks. Yeah. So it's a 3-month class. And every 2 weeks, I come on and we have a live master class. You get access to the Love You community. And I'm telling you, the people have been in the class have been amazing. And I've literally seen them transform before my eyes. I mean, literally in the Zoom session, the first session looks markedly different from the last graduation session. The conversation has changed completely. People are whole. People are free. People are happy. Yes, I am on Clubhouse. And I have to do it more often. You know, it feels like there's so many things to do. And now Facebook has the Clubhouse voice thing, you know. So I tried it out today. My internet went crazy and we dropped it. But I will get back on that as well. Yes, so you can follow me on Clubhouse for conversations there. But besides the Love You Masterclass, if you don't have the time, you can't commit to the time, we have this thing called Love Capsules. And Love Capsules, kind of like the Cliff Notes of the Love You Masterclass. And it's a subscription for a year where you get 3 capsules a week in your email. So it's a short lesson, okay, that you will get that will just nourish your heart, empower your spirit to start making the right decisions. That's what we need to do. Love is not this organic thing that we would like it to be. Love is, is intelligent. Do you know that? Love makes decisions. Love commits to its commitment. That's why it never fails. Love reflects the heart of God, the personality of God. It's patient, it's kind. There's a whole lot of stuff that love entails, but we just kind of like go on fumes with love, we don't do the work that it takes to make love work. When you don't do the work, it doesn't work. So, you can start off really great in a relationship because you're flying on the chemistry of it all. You're flying on the feelings of it all. But at some point, some decisions have to be made. At some point, work has to be done in that relationship to maintain it. I remember once I decided I wanted to try gardening. I was so proud of myself. I went to one of those greenhouses and I picked I kept, like picking out all the flowers and stuff like that. And got home and put it all out on my little balcony. And it was looking so good for a couple weeks. And then everything started dying. And I realized I had not watered the flowers. I was so happy with how they looked. I forgot to take care of them. And that can happen in love. If we don't do the nurturing, if we don't do the work, if we don't do the fertilizing, it can go south really fast and begin to wither on the vine. In Song of Songs, it says, the lover said to the beloved, show me your face and let me hear your voice, for your face is lovely to look upon and your voice is sweet. Catch the little foxes that ruin the vines, for love is in bloom and the grapes are tender. Love is strong, but it's also tender. So you have to take care of it, and I know that for a lot of us, our nurture has become our nature when it comes to love. It's not necessarily healthy. It's become our normal, but it's not necessarily good. It's not necessarily what you want from love. And you're wondering why you're not happy, why you're not fulfilled, why you keep falling into the same types of relationships over and over again, because, they're just not working. And they're not working because you don't know the right principles to put into action, the right keys to use to unlock the door to a relationship that's whole and healthy and passionate and sustainable, right? When honoring both our feminine and masculine divine ways of being. Well, we are a combination of what our Heavenly Father looks like, and we're all in Him. So, women need to be women and men need to be men and enjoy it. The yin and the yang that comes together there is what brings power to the relationship. We're puzzle pieces. We literally go together like that. When we fit together that way, it creates a strong bond that nothing can withstand. That's why was it Solomon in Ecclesiastes said, 2 are better than 1. They have a good reward for their labor. They're a force to be reckoned with. And a threefold cord is not easily broken when God is at the center of that relationship. It cannot be unraveled. And that means that both people are actively seeking God like this. It's a triangle. As the 2 of you are seeking God, you come together. You see how that works? You can come from afar, but when you're going in the same direction, you end up coming together. And so that's what also needs to take place, is an understanding, a recognition of what your values are, what the other person's values are. Are they in alignment? Do you want the same things out of life? Are the same things important to you? Otherwise, there's going to be this tension and this friction, and you're going to be moving in the same direction, and in different directions. And if you got two pieces of cloth and they were pulling in the same direction, guess what happens? They unravel at some point because they're not flowing in the same direction. So it's really, really important for us to know who we are, first of all. A lot of people are busy trying to find someone else to complete them without knowing who they are. And so they keep aligning themselves with the wrong people that rub against the grain of who they are, because they might not consciously know who they are, but subconsciously they do. The pieces aren't fitting. Give examples of how we need to be when being in such positions, being playful with our values and morals and understanding our boundaries. Is that what you meant instead of bounties? Well, Trish, first of all, knowing what's important to you. Like one of my big values is my relationship with God. So me meeting somebody and that's not important to them, well, that's just not going to work for me. We'll be friends, but we will not be anything more than that, because that is a critical part of how I make decisions, how I run my life. So based on that, there are going to be some things that I might decide to do that person might not want to do and might not understand why I'm doing them. When I say something like, well, God spoke to me and told me this, if they're not having a relationship with God, how can they relate to that? And that's going to cause issues and problems in a relationship. I need someone that's saying, well, let's pray about it together and let's both hear what God has to say. That's what I need in my life, okay? More than him being fine, more than him having money, the prime first value for me is relationship with God. Then another value for me is, security, financial security, life security. What does that look like? I'm not saying the person has to be wealthy, but they've got to be able to, handle money well and see the value of it. Have a plan for life, how we're moving forward. Another thing I think for me is,
Humor.
Oh, humor is huge. You got to be able to laugh at life, because everything, is just not that deep. And if you make it deep, then you drown in it, So humor is very important. Family is important to me. A world vision is important to me. Someone that's never been anywhere and doesn't know what the rest of the world looks like, I can't hang with that, because I'm a citizen of the world, So you've got to decide what your values are, what rocks your boat, what keeps you floating, and then see if they are in alignment with the other person. Being a giver is a value for me. So somebody who's selfish and narcissistic is not going to work in my life. Someone who work ethic is important to me. Yeah, see, so that's what I'm saying. You've got to know what your values are. Family is important to me. Yes. So those are things that you've got to have, that list of what your values are, the things that you really value, what's important to you. Okay. And then when you're having conversations, observe as much as you talk, because people are going to show you who they are before they tell you who they are. Okay. And you need to believe what you see, believe what you hear, so that's also very critical. Lifting and separating truth from fiction is important in any relationship. People can only pretend, they say, on an average of 3 months, which means that if you can take the time to check them out, it will be invaluable, because you won't be wasting your time and investing your heart someplace where it shouldn't be. Just remember that you've got to master your heart condition. That means you got to talk to yourself, because sometimes, when chemistry is flowing and they're saying all the right things, you need to say, heart, hold up, hold up, hold up. We don't have enough information yet. Let's keep gathering data. Let's figure out if this person qualifies for me to even be like ready to just open up the crack of my heart. Like, let me see if I can trust them with my heart first. Okay, what are they talking about? So it's really important to managing time with hand. Okay. Yeah. So, and you know, that's another big thing too. Check out that person's friends. Because people always say, oh, I don't like their friends, but I like them. They're just like their friends when they're not with you. You know, so friends are going to tell you a lot about that person. Their family's going to tell you a lot about that person, how they handle the dynamics of their family. Um, you know, so all of these types of things are really critical for us to check out. Yeah, so you know, all of these things are things that I talk about more in the class. We go in deep, and I not only teach you, but I ask you questions, things that you need to ask yourself, so you get very clear um, about what it is you need, what you want, what you're looking for, what you can settle for, what you cannot settle for. You know, it's you go shopping with more information and more insight than you do your relationships. Do you know that? When you go to the store shopping, you know what you're looking for. Sometimes you may not know what you're looking for, but when you get there, you recognize it and you go, yeah, this will work for me. You try it on, you know it's going to work. You know if you're going to wear it a lot or not. You know if it's going to be a part of your basic wardrobe or if it's just going to be a side frill. You know all of these things. But when we come to relationships, we have a tendency to just kind of float on and hope that it works out. And usually what happens is it fades to black. Somebody goes ghosting at some point in time simply because there was no specific goal or plan. So I think that it's really important. That's my challenge to you tonight. Um, what do you want from your relationship? What do you value most? Make a list of 10 things that you value most. Things that you just gotta have. Things that are non-negotiables for you. You need to know those things up front so you don't waste your time. What do you like? What do you not like? You know, there's some things that I can't get distracted when someone starts talking to me just because, somebody's finally talking to me. No, does it line up with what I really want, what I'm looking for? You know, in Ghana, sometimes you know I go to this shop to buy fabric, and the woman there is a very zealous salesperson. But I know what I'm looking for, right? She'll try to sell me everything, and I'm like, no, I don't need that. That's not what I'm looking for. Do you know what you're looking for? Because otherwise, you end up, you know, spending on what you don't even want, spending your heart, spending your time, spending your mind, spending your emotions, you know. Uh-oh, Obed's calling me here. Talk to him. Uh-oh, it went off. Call him back. Anyway, so be very clear. You know, we don't have time to waste. And your heart is precious. You can't keep throwing it up in the air expecting people to catch it that are not qualified to catch it. Okay. Yeah. When you're buying a car, yes, Elizabeth, you're right. When you're buying a car, you're doing your research on the car. You want to know how many miles, what it's good for, you know, how much gas are you going to have to put in the car? How much is it going to cost you to have the car? Ooh, let's not talk about the cost of love. That's for another day. But I cover all these things in the Love You Masterclass and Love Capsules. So I want you to join me for the free masterclass that we're going to do this Friday. Go to my website at michellehammond.com to sign up because it is a live Zoom session. So make sure that you get registered so that you get the link to join me. I've been talking for a while, so I am going to sign off for now. But I want you to think about the questions I've asked you and put them in the chat. I'm going to check later and see what you have to say. But I want to know what your top 10 values are when it comes to love. What are your non-negotiables? Not what are the, you know, expectations. Some of our expectations are crazy. It's going to be 5 p.m. EST time, 5 p.m. New York time for you, okay? We're going to spend some time together. But I want you to think about that. I want you to think about, what do you want for a long time, I didn't know what I wanted. And so I would end up dating people and find out somewhere and along the way that I didn't want what they were giving. And sometimes they found out I wasn't what they wanted either. And so those are conversations you have up front or observations that you make up front. You know, um, you meet people every day and if you just watch them for a while, you might find out they're not going in the same direction as me. That's not what I want for my life. Don't get into magical thinking and fantasizing about stuff that's not there or hope that they'll change. That's another thing. That's a big problem. People are who they are. The Holy Spirit changes people, but you can't change anyone. And that's up to them if they want to change. And that's not guaranteed. So just face it, you're dealing with an as is purchase. And depending on how old you are in life, you don't have time for somebody to be changing. They need to be what you want them to be when you say, I do. Okay. So that's the other thing. We spend a lot of time aligning ourselves with problems and projects versus partners. And it's time to cut out all of that. Everyone on here, I want you to put it in the chat right now. I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. Okay. My heart is not disposable. It's a very valuable thing and it needs to be treated very delicately. Even though it's strong and resilient, why break it if you don't have to? So the more information we have going into love, the better choices we'll make. A lack of information leads to bad selections. Okay, yes, everyone's saying, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. So I hope you'll all register for my class on Friday. It's free. Tell your friends. Let's fill the room and let's have an amazing conversation together. Love you guys. God loves you too. And guess what? You need to love yourself just as much as God does so that you make wiser choices with your heart. Peace out. See you.